Hey everyone, this is Evan from Morethanmeetstheseguys, coming to bring you a little message that I think needs to be expressed, you know, succinctly here. So I'll do my best. We are a podcast that has started from the ground up, and I personally am someone who has loved Transformers all his life. They're important to me. The mythos, the toys, the whole legacy that's brought to my life. My friends on here all have their love as well. Boo, Andres, even Ed, I think he's coming around. But if you could do us a huge favor, and if you're watching on YouTube, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, that's huge. And share the link with friends. And if you're listening on podcast, give us a good review if you wouldn't mind. And send us a message, whatever, come to the Discord, whatever you want to do. We really enjoy doing this, but also we've come to really enjoy engagement with fellow fans and fellow people who just find the podcast. So, and in closing, I want to say thanks for being here and, help us spread the message. All right. Thanks. Bye. Hey, everyone. Welcome to More Than Pieces, guys. We are going to go back to the UK for number 13. This is The Enemy Within Part 1. So, Abu's here with me tonight.
Howdy.
Whatever. I know this is one of the ones that our friend Andres is really big on. So we're going to bring him in for a wrap up after all the issues. And so, man, let's get into this. It's been a little while since we tackled the UK comics, and
yeah, it's been a little bit.
Yeah, the art though is so good. They are embracing the pre-Sunbow model types still. But more than anything else, this is Simon Furman's first story.
Yeah, very first Simon Furman story in Transformers.
Yeah, Simon Furman, who we know from like all the classic UK stories, Target 2006, is one of my favorite ones, the Time Wars, all that. Simon Furman is a big name in the Transformers comics, not just UK. He's done a lot with the American comics as well over time.
Yeah, this is where it started.
Yeah, and so far it's a really good story. I have not. Apparently, this was a story in the American comics. They brought it over the American comics. I'd never read it.
Oh, this one wasn't. No.
Oh, this was not. Okay, well, that
No.
would explain why I've never read this one. And this is I'm kind of being like Ed in this one, where I'm not reading ahead. I'm reading as we do the episodes. So this is all kind of a new thing for me. But man, we're gonna start this off with a letter to the editor. How they hope issue number 13 will be a lucky one for them as they start a new story. And yeah, robot designing spread this issue as well. The Autobot fact file is for my first Transformer, Windcharger, which is kind of cool, Windcharger is one of those mini bots this doesn't get a lot of play in a few episodes, but it doesn't get a whole lot of play in the comics or this show.
Yeah, he was my first mini bot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember I got him at Sears when Sears used to sell toys in the stores. And there's a nice little spread on the page of the prototype of Insecticons, because you can tell with the red and the yellow, they had some of their oh my gosh, what was the toy line they came from?
Diaclone.
Thank you. I was, for some reason my brain went to Mazinger, and obviously it's not right. So yeah, they're Diaclone coloring with the yellow and the red and the black.
Yeah, at least their chests were definitely the Wardos.
Yeah, that's what they were. So yeah, we have a little preview what's coming next for toys for the UK kids. And Anthony Temple talks about upcoming releases of the Jumpstarters. Jumpstarters sounded so much cooler than they are.
They were fun for what they were.
Yeah, I had Top Spin as a kid, and
yeah,
the British comics made the Jumpstarters a lot cooler by putting them in with the Wreckers.
Oh yeah.
If you got those things to stand up on their feet, which I did, it was a feat of engineering of getting that little thing on the back of their head right.
Oh yeah, the little balancing, ballast, I guess is what it is. It's a ballast.
It was kind of like that, yeah. And we have Francis Hudson of Reading Berks asks the one question of Man of Iron. I think we're all wondering: how did Mirage end up in Sammy's dream? And man, the editor he jumps through hoops to try to explain this away like it's one of Mirage's powers. That was a weird issue, man. He's you don't know if Sammy's sleeping of his weight.
Yeah.
And he's like dreaming about a seeker on the ground by his house. He's in a field and Raj is talking to him.
Yeah, it's almost like he's a little psychic there or something. Like
Yeah.
there's some paranormal stuff going on there.
Yeah, it was really weird. It's one of those things where you see that the UK writers, well, I mean, none of the writers really knew what to do with the characters yet. So yeah,
Yeah.
we'll give him psychic powers. He's gonna show up in his dream.
Well, it's like they're taking the weird like alien abduction thing with because they're robot aliens, so
Yeah,
they're kind of working that in. I mean, he's levitating like he's gonna go out the window and all that. I mean, it was
yeah.
it was
There
like a
was
classic alien abduction dream.
yeah, it was.
A dream. Like the
Yeah,
ones I
except
have.
Mirage is great. I mean, dude, and Mirage is creeping around in people's backyards and stuff, using the psychic powers on little kids. That's not okay.
Yeah.
So man, I gotta call out Ed. We have Ed in his pencil transformer.
Yeah.
Man, Ed, I knew that you were just giving us an act. Here you are with your pencil transformer. You're always a fan, were you?
Ed's real name is Daniel Foote, apparently.
But we go onto Chromobots. This is such a weird comic still.
Yeah. Well, it's not very fast paced. It's really
Yeah.
taking its time getting there.
Yeah, we learned
Yeah.
the robot's name is Micros or Mikros.
Yeah.
And
Is he
Dudley's
Greek?
was that?
Is he Greek?
Yeah, exactly. Spelling wise, yeah. He's like, but Dudley's can I do anything for you? Dudley's just asking, he's trying to help. He's like, I need nothing of you. But Dudley's dad has a panic moment and barges into his room. I mean, it's like Dudley's dad was trying to catch him masturbating or something. He's just like he hears noises in there, and Dudley's like,
Yeah.
just me and my comics, Dad, and
Yeah, he doesn't even knock.
he doesn't. Him and his mustachio itself burst right in.
Like I say, he looks kind of like 70s Stan Lee,
He kind of does actually.
except not as cool.
Excelsior, man. The the yeah, he kind of looks like a if Jack Chick drew a cop in the 80s. The mustache and all, it's great. Um, yeah, so Dudley assures him it's just him and his comics, no biggie. And that was kind of it.
Yeah.
It was pretty quick. I mean, Matt and the Cat goes on longer than this.
Yeah. Well, it's the same writer, isn't it?
That's true, actually. It is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Makes sense. Okay, never mind.
Yeah.
It worked.
This is like the advanced one. Oh, see, I think he is designed to look like Stan Lee because he even says "Nuff said" at the end.
Next we get an ad for what every kid wants.
Oh,
Initial
yeah.
timepieces.
That's what I want. I always wanted my initials on a timepiece.
Yeah. So
And not largely displayed, but very small, easily covered up like at lunchtime.
well, you don't want to get picked on because you have your initials on a timepiece.
Right.
I had a friend in high school actually had it was really nice now looking back at it. His mom got him a pocket watch, like the one you pull out with his chain on and stuff with his initials in it. I was like, that's kind of ostentatious as a teenager. I thought that, but yeah, in a way, I guess it's kind of cool. My mom got me a signet ring with a gold ring with my initials on it. I wore it for a number of years. I apparently it was kind of soft because it was like 14 or something karat gold and broke more than a few times. I don't know where it's at this point, but I guess that was a thing, man.
Were you stamping your initials in kids' heads? Is that how you broke your ring?
God,
Because they had monogrammed washes.
That would have been much better.
Stick with that story.
Yeah, that's how it happened. I was pounding them. Yeah. So,
I love the Irish currency orders are welcome.
we'll take you, Mix.
Yeah, that's very big of them.
We'll take your money, man. Man, the issue starts off in a very familiar territory. Starscream is challenging Megatron's leadership.
Oh yeah, Megatron's just screaming at him.
Yeah, they're having a domestic issue right now
with his gold Ray-Bans on.
He is. I was gonna say his head's different from we're used to, but the British color palette has shown up nicely.
Well, and he's got the silver helmet as opposed to the normal black one you see in the comics.
Yeah, and he's I don't know, His head's kind of misshapen and weird, also.
Oh, it's more like the toy. You can tell they're still like modeling these after the toys.
You're right. Actually, it makes more sense looking at the back slip of the head and stuff.
Yeah.
It looks like he got melted in the sun a little. If you took Sunbow Megatron and melted him in the sun a little bit,
Oh yeah.
that's kind of and gave him Ray-Bans, I guess. But Starscream just wants a vote on leadership. And Rumble, who is blue, by the way. Just putting that out there for everyone. Theorib. Um he remarks he understands what Starscream's saying, but Skywarp's like, dude, Rumble, not now, dude. Just calm down. Let
you want
to
to test Megatron?
Yeah. Megatron's got a big gun. But yeah, like Megatron shoots at Starscream and sends him away, and Starscream is really showing the personality of Starscream starting, because he kind of smirks at the fact that he's like sowing discord in the Decepticons.
Yeah, everything he said, he knew Megatron was going to shoot it down, but he did it just to undermine Megatron in front of the other Decepticons.
I like when they show Starscream is smart about how he works things. Megatron, as we know, is very much about all power, and he leads. What is mentioned in the comics, he leads with his fusion cannon. He knows because he has this fusion cannon, he's in control of the Decepticons. Starscream doesn't have that, so he starts sowing discord among the ranks.
Yeah, you got passive aggressive versus aggressive here.
Yeah, exactly. Man or the bear.
Right. Well, and then Megatron knows you got to fight fire with fire, so he sends passive aggressive after passive aggressive by getting Ravage to keep an eye on him.
Well, yeah, he even says like Ravage comments, I may not be wise to let him leave. But Megatron's like, if I had killed Starscream, other Decepticons may have turned on him. So he's sending Ravage to find an excuse to kill him, and so he's free of responsibility. He's passing the buck on to Ravage.
Yeah, well, see, Megatron knows how to play politics too. He knows the game that Starscream's at. What he's up to. So
it goes to show you, whenever you get mad at someone, especially online, take a step back, think about what you're doing, get the upper hand, be smart.
Send in Ravage.
Hey, Ravage, could take care of this for me. But back on the arc, and I feel so good about this because the talking about the comic and the TV show, I've got to remind myself, in the TV show is the Autobot ship.
Yeah.
And, or Autobot base. And
it's not named.
Yeah, in the comic, it is the Ark. So we are back in the Ark, and Brawn is holding up a heavy piece of machinery as Mirage is repairing it.
And the art here, it looks like what we're going to get eventually through the Missing Link Transformers, because it's the toys and poses that they can't actually do.
That'd be really cool. Yeah, exactly. His claw arms. He's got the claw arms. He's just like holding up a piece of machinery. Yeah. And he gets shocked, and he gets pissed off too.
It's totally Mirage's fault, because Mirage was supposed to be fixing this thing, and they said, "Oh yeah, just fire it up and keep holding on to it." So it's almost like Mirage set him up for like a prank or something. This is definitely against OSHA regulations. So,
well, if Mirage actually used his psychic abilities and told Brawn, "I'm screwing with you," it would have been better. But I guess he can only talk to underage kids.
Yeah, he's only messing with the kids with the special levitation powers. Yeah, he was making stuff levitate. Why does he need Brawn to hold this up?
He's just messing with Brawn at this point.
Yeah.
So Brawn is just pissed off. He gets real ornery about being used.
Well, they have to, Prowl has to like unplug it. Like everybody just stands there watching Brawn get electrocuted, and Prowl's like, "Oh, hey, we want one."
Slow down the arc.
Yeah, unplug that. Yeah, and he gets really mad because Bumblebee's trying to encourage him. "Oh, you'll be back to work in no time," and then he's just glowering to himself, like, "Oh yeah, you'll see."
He is big mad, and he goes and sits by himself.
This already reminds me of Auto Berserk.
It kind of is, actually. Oh yeah. Except instead of Red Alert, it's Brawn.
Yeah, which is much more entertaining. He's not whiny, he's punchy.
God, if Brawn went around saying, like, "You don't understand me.
Gears wants my job."
You wanted to hurt me. I mean, I yeah, gotta hate Red Alert. Anyway, so do we have back to Starscream? He's plotting to attack the humans and bring the Autobots to force the Decepticons into the fray.
Right,
So
because
once
their
again,
argument was about whether, to err on the side of caution and just kind of figure out their situation on Earth or just start wrecking
yeah,
stuff. And Megatron wanted to be more cautious, and Starscream's trying to force his hand.
which I mean, I totally get that. That makes a lot of sense. If you want to like get things going, you don't want to Megatron, even though he's the aggressor, he wants to be very careful, which is a weird, dichotomous in nature. Starscream's like, no, we're going to do this now, but we're going to do this, in a way that brings the Autobots out, so we can, work with it that way. So
Yeah.
they kind of have a lot of the same plan, but they go about it in different ways.
Well, and he hasn't got to really feel out like the U.S. military yet.
Yeah,
Like they do that in issue 4, but this is actually taking place between 3 and 4. Like they mentioned Spider-Man earlier.
that's true, actually.
So he hasn't got to do his big test where he walks out in front of the army and is like, "You hit me with everything you got," and laughs at him and goes back in.
It doesn't hit quite like the first issue of the Skybound book, or second
Oh
issue.
no. Although I am seeing shades of this with Starscream and wanting to attack the military base.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's doing it for a reason. He's not just it. Where the Skybound book is very frenetic, it's very like there's constantly action going on.
Hmm.
Starscream over here is trying to plot. Like,
Yeah, we get a view into their mind more.
yeah, because it's
Yeah.
like the new comic, which I love, is very fast paced. Like I was saying, very frenetic, very it doesn't give anyone a chance to rest, especially on that Skywarp. But
Yeah. And Starscream here is not the sociopath that he is in the Skybound books.
oh yeah, not at all. I want to say they like show him in this as a very smart villain.
He's very
He's
calculating.
Yes, he's very yeah, I mean calculated is a good way to put it. He's thinking a few steps ahead. If I do this, this will happen and this will happen. Where Megatron is just being very careful about anything he does. So we're really seeing the Starscream from the show, yeah, but
Hmm.
as everyone says, if he's given time to plan, Batman could beat anyone. It's Starscream is planning. He's taking his time to figure out what he wants to do and how he wants to go about it. So it's kind of nice.
He's wanting to get the chess pieces moving rather than
Yes.
wait for everyone else to make their moves.
Yeah,
He does.
he's being an aggressive chess player. It's a good way to put it.
Yeah, he wants to guide the board rather than let the other players guide him.
He wants to put out that pawn at two spaces in the first round to bring the other pawns and the knights out. Yeah. Okay, good
Right.
way to put it. Yeah. So Ravage is kind of cool though about this. He actually appreciates Starscream's plan because he hears it all.
Yeah.
But his loyalties lie with Megatron, so he's gonna report what he found out. Which I kind of like that, having Prowl as a like talking or thinking, robot it helps a lot
Oh,
because
Ravage.
yeah, I'm sorry, right, Ravage, sorry.
Yeah.
Gives it gives him a lot of character which we don't usually get.
Yeah, and you get a lot more of that in the comics because we
Yeah.
never really got to see much personality development of Ravage in the cartoon, but
Yeah.
yeah, we get to see Ravage's thoughts.
Yeah, no, you and I both saw the 40th anniversary presentation of the first 4 episodes this weekend, and
Yeah.
that there's that one scene where Ravage talks. It's
Oh yeah.
playback, and it would have been really nice to have this sort of interaction with the show, but I understand
Yeah.
voice actors cost money, so
Oh, it
he,
was Frank Welker. He was already there.
he was just making growls
Yeah.
like he does with every Disney property there is. I swear.
Oh yeah. But I mean, it'd be nice to have had some soliloquies with Ravage, but
Oh yeah.
they're just trying to sell the toys.
Yeah, because the comics weren't trying to sell toys at all. You're right.
Oh yeah. Well, they just had a lot more time to get words in
Yeah, they
or
did.
space. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot more time and a lot more ability for the writers to, flex a little bit on this. But Ravage, he's sneaking away, he gets careless, and Starscream spots him. I
Yeah.
mean,
He caught a reflection.
yeah, it was something like that. I thought he knocked her rocks. Maybe it was a reflection.
Yeah.
And he ends up chasing him into the desert where he should have a distinct advantage because he's a jet.
Oh yeah, and well, there's no shadows for Ravage to hide in. You
Yeah,
know, so
he's a
yeah,
master.
middle of the day in the desert.
Yeah, Starscream does the whole I'm an excellent flyer, I'm a master tactician, which they're showing with the character of this.
Yeah.
Um, Ravage, he loses Ravage immediately. I like to have him jump out of the ground and go, surprise, sucker.
Oh yeah. Well, he tried to talk Ravage into joining him at first,
Yeah,
but
that's right.
then Ravage bolted, and he's like, "Oh, okay, here we go."
Yeah, well, yeah, I was really talking about his loyalties to Megatron. Like I
Yeah,
said, Ravage was like, it's not a bad plan. I like what you're doing here. Yeah, the surprise sucker from the ground killed
that
me.
was good. He just comes right out of the ground. It's like
Surprise sucker.
like a scene from Dune. You
It
know,
was.
but his aim is terrible.
Yeah, well,
Or Starscream's really good at dodging. It's probably Starscream dodging.
sure, we'll go with that.
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt.
He fires his missiles, but Starscream's
Actually says he evaded the missiles, so yeah.
yeah, that's right. He did evade the missiles. He's too good of a flyer though, and evades them both. Ravage
Yeah.
runs away until he hits a dead end, and instead of giving in, he leaps to Starscream and shoots and buries him.
Yeah, he buries him under a big pile of rocks.
I got to give it to Ravage. At least he's like, nah, if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down. Taking you out with me. But we're treated to a side by side of Starscream and Brawn, thinking that their actions they can't come back from their course. I mean, and Braun's sitting in his room in the dark, like basically like thinking, like, I can't, if I do this, I can't come back. And he decides he's done with the Autobots. I'm out of here.
Yeah, it's like they've put those gears in motion. Both of them feel like they just have got it in motion. They have to go with what's happening.
Yeah, well, I mean, the thing is, like, Sideswipe, by the way, Sideswipe's character model here is really weird. I had to figure out who it was.
It's Gears, isn't it? I mean, it
It
looks like
looks like
Gears.
Gears, yeah, but it's
Yeah.
actually supposed to be Sideswipe. But he says he's gonna be the one to tell him that brute force is needed and blah blah blah. Braun flips out and body slams Sideswipe and then begins to crush his head.
Yeah, he goes straight for the kill.
He does, man, and considering Braun's supposed to be the strongest Autobot, that's pretty bad. It's like I'd say Andre the Giant, but Braun's kind of small. Big old strong wiry guy is gonna like crush your head instead of like trying to talk to you. It's not good.
Yeah. And then he declares all the Autobots are his enemies.
Yep, and leaves.
Yeah.
And it's one of those classic things where well, you don't appreciate me, I'm out of here. But the thing is, he's really not seeing things clearly. Even like the comic panel is all wibbly wobbly.
Yeah, it's all like it's like he's looking at through a pool.
Yeah,
he's underwater.
He's not. I think they're trying to say he's not quite right in the head.
Yeah,
we know this.
And he makes his own door out.
He does.
He just Kool-Aid Man's right out of the Ark.
Oh yeah, he does. He does. So yeah, the Ark. No wonder the Ark is always beaten up because you have people like this working with you.
He was supposed to be fixing it.
we go into a designer robot section, which has some decent drawings with notable Target Master.
Yeah, there's like some really prophetic designs we've seen really through all of these. Yeah, Target Master for sure.
I mean, I always enjoy these designs because that kids are probably like maybe not even 10 years old doing these drawings. You know how I was always terrible at drawing. I'm 100% going to tell you that. I know you're an art student, so I mean, I know you enjoyed like really, probably working on like Transformers. But I think you're probably drawing things like that.
Oh, totally.
Yeah, I was awful. But the thing is, there are a lot of kids who really like kind of cut their teeth on this kind of stuff. And I did try to do some things, and I try to make it like when I drew something out, I try to make it so every panel fits a certain way. Like I try to make it transformable as opposed to what they usually did in the show or the comic.
Right. I did the same. In fact, I did a drawing like when I was a kid of a helicopter transformer. And it was very similar to a Fantor here that we see. And Fantor's not bad looking. That would make a pretty decent toy.
They're all like they're rough. I mean, they're kids though, and they're trying to like engineer these panels and whatnot.
But you see Fantor's tail? He's
I
got
have to
like
look
the G2 styling. He's got his name like graffitied on his tail.
Nice. I'll take a look at that again. I did all my pictures and stuff and did my notes earlier, so I'll get back and look at this. I'll definitely
And
bring that picture up for the YouTube version of this.
well, and he listed like what all the parts like on the helicopter, like what they turn into on the robot is like the arms or the helicopter skids and the tails of feet. And so it's like he
Thought
really
this out a
thought it
lot.
out. Yeah.
Yeah. I love seeing that kind of
These
stuff.
are smart kids. They're
But
smart adults now.
yeah. Rejoin the U.S. You are sorry. Rejoin the action with the U.S. Air Force Base 4 Alpha, where they detect a UFO closing fast, and it picks up speed. The last page is a splash page where there's this gorgeous shot of Starscream, and he's laying waste to the base, flying real low. It's really pretty drawing.
Oh yeah. Well, the inks are always amazing in these comics.
Yeah, the UK
This is
inking
good
is
stuff.
fantastic. The color
And this
palette.
is John Ridgeway. So
Oh, that mean it is Ridgeway still. Okay,
yeah.
that makes a lot of sense. Why it's so nice looking. And
Yeah.
the colorists for these panels are still great, but this is inking here. Um, and yeah, and that's kind of like you have a whole thing with Stars from Land Waste, and then we go back to Machine Man.
Oh yeah. Good old X-51.
Is there anything good about him?
Um, he's only in half the comic.
Yeah, it feels like he's like in 2/3 of the comic. It goes on so long, but
Yeah.
I forgot all about Baron Brimstone and the Sinister Satan Squad.
Oh man. Yeah.
That
And
alliteration,
this is more Sinister Satan Squad than Baron Brimstone.
which is
So
it's great because Baron Brimstone's terrible.
it's got like 50% less eyebrow.
Well, I mean, he's all has all one eyebrow, so I mean, miss 50% less him, I guess.
Right? Yeah, it's all less ginger in this.
Yeah, these great lines. They're like, "I'm thinking borscht baboons." The alliteration from Baron
Oh
Brimstone
yeah.
is fantastic.
I could almost hear him like Dr. Smith from the original Lost in Space. You
Yeah,
bubble-headed booby. You can hear that inflection.
gotta get hear that in my head.
Yeah.
There's Hammer Harrison with gloves composed of diamond hard steel.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? I got
Uh
steel. They're diamond hard. They go
yeah.
or
Is
diamond hard steel.
that like the same thing Colossus's skin is made out of? I don't know.
I don't know, man. Sure, let's go with that.
Yeah.
But
Eh,
wait, it's Snake Marston, the world class contortionist.
It's like he has no bones. I mean,
Yeah, it really
there's
is.
being a contortionist, and there's this guy who's like a human shaped octopus.
Yeah, it's almost like Mr. Fantastic, but with bad writing. Well,
Yeah, that's less cool. And
yeah,
you know,
less
Mr.
cool.
Fantastic's not very cool.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of hard to say. Yeah, it's like Mr. Fantastic, but with like a different face.
And I like how, you know, Gears Garvin is helping Machine Man, like, you know, protect his vitals and stuff. And all
Yeah.
Machine Man can think about it is like how like dirty Gears Garvin's house is.
He is really a jerk about this.
Yeah, well, at least he didn't say it out loud this time. He's learning to, you know, keep that internal monologue.
Human.
Yeah.
I'm really human. You would never know. Yeah,
And
but
I
yeah,
love how Gears uses like two old wedding rings he bought for
yeah,
a
and
failed
him
relationship.
yeah. This
To,
dude is like he's lived life and he uses them and hammers them down as like gold, foil. This
oh yeah, and I mean, I can't really blame his I guess his ex fiance for bailing on him because he spent their honeymoon money on a motorcycle, and then he's like, "I still got the bike." She's on her third marriage.
We all know someone like that. It's
Yeah,
okay. Get the motorcycle. It's
she
okay.
picked the bear.
Prescient. The but man, we are greeted with a robot roundup.
Oh yeah,
And man, I am so happy to see Rock from Y&T make a return.
yeah. He looks like a Cylon that joined Gwar.
I was gonna say exactly that. He looks like an extra or like a adversary for a Guar during a Guar show.
Oh yeah, it
It's
looked like
fantastic.
Sawborg Destructo had a brother that
Yeah.
had less saws.
Rock Destructo. I don't know. Yeah. he's kind of cool. I like it. It's you can see the guy in the suit kind of thing, but that was something that you didn't see a lot of, back then. So I'm digging it, honestly.
Oh yeah, Gore was just forming when
Yeah,
this was going on. So
they were a little art collective at this point.
yeah,
Oh boy, but Riki Robot.
Riki robot. And I tried to find out what this thing looks like. I couldn't find it. Did you find anything on this?
Nothing. It's like they built up this idea of this robot and it never happened.
Yeah, I found an ad like for Riki Technologies for like one of their little computers, but I couldn't find anything on the robots.
It almost feels like they try to get investors into this and they try to build it up like, okay, case in point now for current situations. When you have a Kickstarter,
Yeah,
people say this Kickstarter is going to do this, it's going to do this, and 10,000 people give $60.
yeah,
And it goes on for 2 or 3 years. They're like, we're working on it still. It's going to be great. You'll love it. But by that time, things have moved on, and people are like, yeah, just give me $60 back. I kind of feel that's what happened with Riki Robot.
yeah.
Like he was promised.
It cost £4,000, which I mean back then was a lot of money.
Yeah.
Well, that's a lot of money now, but I mean back then that was a lot of money.
Man, I don't have $4,000 to drop on anything right now.
Yeah.
Back in the early 80s, mid 80s.
Well, and it's offering stuff that, they're just now getting a handle on.
That's the thing. I think when reading the article about it, it feels like they were trying to, they're trying to pull an Elon, or we're going to do this and that and the other. And now you have the Cybertruck that doesn't actually go off road at all.
Yeah, it's like they overpromised.
Yeah. So, and then you're going to own the libs with your Cybertruck. But yeah, the Riki Robot is just, it sounds like a really cool idea, but way ahead of its time. So that's probably what happened there.
It stinks. The Riki Robot stinks.
Reference to Ed's problems right now, which is why we're doing this edition. Ed, I hope your dog gets better.
Poor puppy.
It sounds like a stinky situation over there right now. But man, I know you did a little dive on Metal Mickey.
Metal Mickey, yes.
I can't wait to hear this.
Yeah, so we got Metal Mickey here. He was kind of a celebrity back in the day. And I mean, I guess the majority of this article is actually about him, but he was created by a musician and pirate DJ named Johnny Edward, who used to play with David Bowie in the Manish Boys R&B group.
Nice.
This is before David Bowie changed his name to David Bowie.
Okay.
And so he created.
Sorry to interrupt you. What was his name before? I've always known as David Bowie. I realize it wasn't his name, but
let me see. What was it? It was.
You can, nonchalantly go on the internet while you.
That's what I'm doing right this second. David Jones. So he was Davy Jones.
He was Davy Jones.
Yeah.
No wonder he changed to David Bowie. This is a lot cooler.
Davy Jones is already taken, which it's funny because there is a Monkey's connection here.
Not a daydream believer though.
Okay. Yes. So he created Metal Mickey, whose catchphrase was boogie boogie boogie. And he voiced the robot through a vocoder and controlled it remotely, which it says here they're real secretive about it, but they found out later he was just remote controlling the robot and speaking through it.
Yeah, they were like trying to say like, well, there's no one inside of it. I don't know how he does this. So like, we all kind of figured it out.
Yeah. Well, Metal Mickey made an appearance on infamous child predator Jimmy Savile. That's how you pronounce it.
Jimmy Savile, yeah.
Yeah, Savile, his show on Jim'll Fix It.
Oh no. See, that was a big thing for it was a very big kids thing. Jimmy Savile worked with a lot of kids. And we found out later, more like last few years, I think, he was a creepy child molester.
Yeah, he was a bad dude. In fact, they say it was probably one of the worst cases of it ever.
Yeah.
And he even publicly defended Gary Glitter.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh, not Gary Glitter.
Well, yeah. Jimmy Savile, not Metal Mickey. Metal Mickey was
Metal
cool.
Mickey's okay. He's fine.
Yeah.
It kind of reminds me of the Quiet on the Set. Have you watched any of that?
Not yet, but I've been planning
It's
to.
it's bad. So
Yeah.
it was
I like to eat when I watch things, and that's just not something you really want to snack to.
no, I would say
Yeah.
not. I would if you drink, I'd say drink heavily.
Yeah,
But
I might lose weight. I'm like gagging.
there you go. But well,
So,
yeah,
yeah. So back to Metal Mickey.
not Jim Savile.
Yes. Uh, one was a soulless monster and the other one was a robot. So okay, so anyway, so he got a lot of attention being on Jim Will Fix It. So he got offered his own show. So he got his own series, which ran from 80 to 83 and was produced and directed by Mickey Dolenz of the Monkees.
What?
Yeah.
Actually,
I told you there was a Monkees connection.
I don't know any of you listening were like listen to the Monkees at all. We had the Monkees TV show when I was in syndication when I was growing up, and Mickey was actually my favorite. So
He was the funny one. He was the
he was a funny
goofball.
one, yeah. He was a goofy one.
Yeah.
I wasn't a teenage girl, so Davy Jones didn't really do it for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, Peter was kind of awkward.
I
Yeah,
always liked Mike. Mike was the cool one. He was funny, like clever funny. And
yeah,
his
he
mom
was he
invented
was like
Whiteout.
dry sense of humor, funny. Yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. So
so
I
all of you
watched a
think he
bit
was
of
awesome.
Metal Mickey's pilot
Yeah.
because I wanted to hear what he sounded like with the vocoder. I was wondering, does he sound like Soundwave or what? He sounded like a Cylon, like from the original Battlestar Galactica.
That's terrible, but
Yeah.
great at the same time.
Right. So Johnny Edwards was actually planning on relaunching Metal Mickey to
Hmm.
new audiences when he died in August of 2021.
Oh, it's too bad.
So we never got that Metal Mickey revival.
Nah, I could see them doing something with like more, I guess robotics. Though I could see them trying to do a CG overlay and have someone there trying to like, hey kids, do this now.
Oh yeah, that or he should have done like a guest shot on like Mystery Science Theater or something. Because
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah.
yeah, Metal Mickey would have fit it, and he was big. He was like 5 feet tall. He was a big robot.
Wow. I looked at the
Yeah,
pictures. He looked like he's like 3 feet tall. That's
yeah,
he was like he was a Dalek size.
yeah. In fact, I think he actually did some appearances with Daleks.
I can see that actually. He was had a show for 3 years. So
I bet he partied with Twiki.
oh,
Beady,
dude,
beady, beady.
Tweaky, doing him and lines are a problem.
And then
Tweak.
they've got this like ad, I guess, for some movie that's not going anywhere. Nobody's gonna watch this thing called The Terminator.
Oh yeah, I mean it's terrible. It's got that guy who like was in
What,
Hercules Goes
Hercules in New
Bananas.
York? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
that
Who's
can't
that
be
guy?
good.
Flash in the pan.
Yeah, I mean, if they get more than one movie out of that, I'll be shocked.
Yeah.
Who's
There's not going to be a sequel to that one.
no,
And
no,
it certainly
no.
won't be better.
Oh God, no. I mean, it certainly won't have a huge budget and James Cameron directing it. No.
Yeah.
So yeah, oh
James
well.
who? The guy from Piranha 2? What?
The guy who likes to like put like submersibles under in the ocean and stuff in the trench. Not the ones who like hire like millionaires to drive ride in the tank or the sub.
He has the submersibles that come back.
Yeah, he's the
Yeah.
actually he was on record as telling the guy who what was the name of that submersible company that was doing that?
Oh, yeah. Ocean Gate?
Yeah, Ocean Gate. Yeah,
Heaven's Gate? Oh, wait. No, Ocean
yeah.
Gate.
Essentially, he was actually on record by telling the guy at Ocean Gate was like, "Look, that is not gonna survive. You cannot use that submersible. It is not safe." The guy's like,
Yeah.
"No, it's cool. It's cool. I got an Xbox controller and everything. We're fine." Oh yeah. So
Yeah.
James Cameron actually did try to stop the guy, but yeah. Anyways,
Yeah. Well, it was cool to see like an early view of the Terminator. And I
it
mean, they don't
was
really show him as a robot. They just show Arnold in that
the
jacket.
shades. Yep.
Yeah.
Well, it was actually the cover of the original Terminator.
Yeah. He's holding his gun with the laser sight.
Yeah, it's holding up like this, and he's got it's done in like yellows and reds and stuff. It's I kind of miss very I don't know no, I'd say nonchalant, but very I don't know very they didn't give away the plot with a movie poster. It was
Yeah.
just a shot of Arnold in sunglasses and a leather jacket holding a
And they
gun
didn't give
outside.
away a lot in this article either. Like they went out of their way to like not spoil it.
Different times, I think. You didn't have, a billion influencers trying to spoil a plot of a movie like 6 weeks before it came out.
Well,
So,
that or maybe that's all they were told. And they played it off
which
like, oh, we're keeping a secret because we weren't told any more than this.
which is very possible too. Oh, so thank goodness that we're done with Machine Man. So next thing is Prowl finds a star. It's a little puzzle. I'm glad for Prowl. He's doing great.
Yeah. I didn't do this puzzle.
Oh, you didn't? Oh, that's such a
No.
disappointment. Oh God, it's more Machine Man.
Yes, Machine Man was just hiding behind it.
It doesn't ever end. Machine Man is the star. When you find the star, you get to go on to more Machine Man.
Oh yeah. And I mean, well, earlier when they were talking, when Baron Brimstone actually appears and has his like meeting to try to recruit people, it was the weirdest like Amway recruitment ever because they invite everyone, all these thugs to like recruit them, and the way they try to recruit them is attack them and then disappear without even giving a phone number.
Aggressive recruiting, and then
Right.
when the smoke goes up, they're gone.
I mean, yeah, Hammer like punches some dude in the face
With his
Snake
diamond
choke-
hard steel gloves.
right, and then, Snake like chokes some guy, and then they just leave. Oh, and of course, Baron Brimstone shoots at their feet
Because that's what he does.
Yeah,
He's the worst
and
villain.
they're gonna hijack, I guess, shipments of technology so they can mass produce this Solmac microwave weapon that he wears on his back. Under his cape.
Oh, it's terrible too because so Machine Man has Go-Go Gadget boot skates.
Oh yeah, he's got his Heelys.
He does. He has Heelys. He's whipping in and out of traffic and stuff. But so they're at the Cathedral of St. Gabriella, and it has a solid gold bell. That is the worst. I mean, look, I grew up Episcopalian. I was very Catholic for a long time. I realized that both are very ostentatious, but a golden bell,
solid gold
bell.
And like you're talking about with your ring, it's too soft to do that. I mean, how many solid gold bells do you see that? I mean, especially that size, it's like a massive church bell. I mean, it would bend out of shape like quickly and lose its like sound.
Yeah, not really well thought out.
Yeah.
Just putting that out there. But
I mean, I'm no expert on acoustics, but I mean, even I think that's a bad idea.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, and Pamela has been kidnapped.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh my word.
Yes, she goes off to meet one of these thugs that was at the meeting in a dark alley. And then before he can tell her anything about Baron Brimstone, Snake Marston shows up and just kills the guy outright in front of her.
Oh yeah, it was like one of the gangster guys.
Yeah, it's one of the gangster guys.
Yeah.
Dawson.
Yeah, that's what it was.
They threw him in the creek.
Snake takes care of that.
And then Hammer Harrison punches Pamela in the face and knocks her out.
It's diamond hard gloves.
Yeah, and they take her back to Baron Brimstone for questioning. And I'm like, this is a very, I guess, adventurous insurance agency.
They're Snake Marston. I had to bring up the comic real quick. Snake Marston's like, you didn't think the Baron would let a non-entity like you interfere with his carefully laid plans. Dude, if Baron Brimstone has carefully laid plans, I'm impressed. Let's be honest. And like, what's her name? Pamela?
Yeah, Pamela.
Yeah, she's like, this is horrible. Must run and get help. But luckily, that's when Hammerhand, God, what's his name?
Yeah, Hammer Harrison.
Hammer Harrison. He's like, you ain't going nowhere, babe. I mean, I understand.
He's just looking at her going, she'll live. It's like, you just hit her in the face with a brick, essentially. It's like...
Yeah, she'll live, but Brimstone may want to question her.
She ain't pretty no more.
And Man, X-51 is like watching. He's got a doohickey attached to his head, and he's like listening in and watching what's
To
going on.
this master supercomputer in the basement of the insurance building. I'm like, it just seems bizarre that they've got all this high tech stuff, and they're doing like Indiana Jones type stuff just out of an insurance agency.
They are, and like he's over there like, well, Baron Brimstone is going to need mass produce a soulmate. He's going to need a lot of gold. We had that little mention of gold foil used in X-51's head to
Yeah, to
shield him.
protect his brain.
Oh my God! So here we are with we should have seen this one coming.
Yeah, so that's where he went to the church to get the gold bell. And I like how he comments about, they shouldn't have anything this nice if there's hungry people in the world.
Yeah, it does.
I mean,
He
he's not
does.
wrong, but it seems like an odd time to, ponder that.
So I just say that Machine Man. I made notes on this. Machine Man arrives, whipping in and out of traffic on his boot skates. Takes a moment to opine about the opulence of a solid gold bell when so many go hungry. And I had to put on there.
And his Heelys go up walls too.
They do, and I also put a little comment in there. I'm not saying Catholics, but um, sorry to our Catholic listeners. And I mean, he goes in, that's it. I mean, basically, he's like, with my boot skates, I should be able to get there in no time to save
Yeah.
Pamela.
And he shows up, and they've apparently recruited 2 more thugs. They have 2 nameless guys unhooking the solid gold bell to hook to a helicopter. So that's got to be a really powerful helicopter to carry a solid gold bell that's bigger than a man.
Everyone here listening knows that gold is extremely dense and heavy, right?
Just like Machine Man.
In a dense, yeah. I don't know how heavy it is, but yeah.
So yeah, he squares off with Snake and Hammer, and we're kind of left hanging there.
Oh, there's this great line though. X-51 bounces up to the tower and announces himself. But the thugs there are like, well, at least it's not Spider-Man or some other super powered heavy.
Yeah, it's this guy. All right.
Oh, we got this. It's fine. The Machine Man, we're not worried about this guy.
They call him a Tinker Toy.
They do, which is not really bad at all. That's pretty appropriate.
Yeah, that's kind of an upgrade for X-51.
It is. I mean, he is like he's like the Kmart version of Inspector Gadget, which is saying a lot.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah, so that's over, thank God.
Oh yeah. And then we got Matt and the Cat.
Which nothing really happens much in the Matt and the Cat. Which nothing ever really happens in Matt and the Cat.
Yeah. Yeah, Matt and Humfer plotting their escape, and the Darkons are plotting to sell them at a slave auction.
Yeah, I actually like the Darkons better than Matt and the Cat.
Yeah,
they're actually
the bad
more
guys.
interesting. Yeah, they're the little head guy on the ground that has little arms out of him. It looks like a head of a I don't know, it looks like a head of a Doctor Who villain or something.
Oh yeah,
like kind of like Cyberman but flattened.
Yeah, it's like like Cyberman mixed with like the ghost from Pac-Man. I don't know.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah,
they're more interesting than Matt and the Cat are. So I'm
they look like Max Steel characters.
They do.
Yeah,
good catch.
RoboForce.
Oh, I wanted this comic.
Yeah.
Can we just like put in RoboForce and get rid of X-51, please?
Right.
Unfortunately, I know that's not going to happen.
Well, they switch it out after a while, but we've got a long while before we get there.
It's a while, yeah. We've taken a break on these British comics. So
we had the "Are You a Nutty Inventor" contest in this issue.
Yeah.
And you had a chance to win the draw and color moving robot book. Yeah. And you just had to like draw a robot and send it in with your address and name. And I guess they did a drawing and they gave out 100 of these books.
So yeah. Did you do this one?
Yes. Well, not back then, but I did it this week. So
yeah, I'll put that up there. And
yeah, so there's my
why does it look like
robot entry?
Sin? It's
I plead the fifth. Maybe I was influenced by the opulent gold bell in the church.
There you go. Odorous would be proud of you.
Right. I mean, and we've got, Rock looks like a Gwar robot. So,
It all shakes out as Guar in the end.
yeah, it's kind of hard not to think of Gwar when you listen to him every day.
Yeah, I guess so, man. Anyways, this is honestly the issue of Transformers. I liked a lot. I mostly liked the whole the stuff with the Decepticons, and Brawn's just a little like manic.
Yeah, just a little.
Little bit manic, yeah. Yeah, of course she got shocked. It's not his fault. But he's a little yeah.
Yeah. Well, and like I said, we're reflecting back on the first Simon Furman Transformer story ever.
Yeah.
And, he kind of followed suit with what they did Man of Iron. So,
Yeah, except thankfully there's less Mirage being a creepy guy talking to underage boys in their dreams. So
yeah,
I
he's only
appreciate that.
brain damaging Brawn. So, I mean,
Come on, man. It's Braun. Is there much brain damage?
not a whole lot. He
He's
doesn't have a
named
lot to spare, though. That's his problem.
he's named Braun for a reason. Can we give Braun some freaking hands and not those little clicky clack claws? Come on.
Hey, you know who they look like? Do you ever watch Spider-Man and His Amazing Friends?
Yeah.
Remember Video Man?
Oh God. Yeah,
He was like
dude.
the two-dimensional video villain that would like shoot
Yeah.
squares at people. Yeah, that's what his claws always
God,
remind me of. They look like Video Man's claws.
he does. Yeah. God, that's crazy.
Yeah,
Honestly,
but
y'all.
he's a Mysterian to the core. So
He is. He really is. Oh
yeah,
yeah. If y'all ever, you want to see some like the line art, like I said, is Ridgeway, and it's beautiful. The designs are very toy heavy,
hmm
but if you can take the toy and like make it like a drawing in a comic,
oh
Ridgeway
yeah. Well, he
does.
got fancy with Prowl. Prowl's like head crest or whatever. It got pretty far out there.
Yeah, and I mean
He's
honestly,
almost like a Great Mazinger looking
he
helmet.
kind of is actually. You're right.
Yeah.
That splash page of Starscream like bombing the base though is really nice.
Oh yeah. All the artwork in this is great.
It's fantastic. I mean,
And Ridgway did the colors too.
oh, we did.
Yeah, so he did it all. He penciled it, inked it, and colored. It just says art by John Ridgeway. So he
There you go.
did it
Well, look,
all.
I like it. It seems very watercolor,
Yeah.
and I appreciate that. I mean, it could have been for all I know.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It's very flowy. You don't see pencil lines or anything like that, so it's very flowy like a watercolor would be. And it might have been
hmm
that. I don't know anything about Ridgway's coloring. He may have preferred it that way. But yeah, the coloring in this is fantastic. The inks are beautiful, and the plot. I want more Starscream and Ravage. If we just have
Yeah.
Starscream and Ravage being like, I'm more intelligent. No, I'm more intelligent. No, I'm prettier. No, I'm prettier. Attacking each other, I could go for a full comic of that.
Right? Oh, and going back to the beginning, something
Yeah.
we skipped over. Where's it? Okay, well, Anthony Temple from Hasbro. He talked about the Jumpstarter's robot points and the Time Warrior watch.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Talked about this.
That was the little watch that had an Autobot symbol, and you'd press it on the jaw and it would split open. You'd get it like in the mail order stuff for robot points.
I got it. Before you go further, because I know where you're going with this, I tell you, years ago I worked for a little secondhand toy shop doing inventory and things like that. This came in there at one point. I'm like, why would anyone want this? And I just like I put it in the case to sell to
Was
whoever.
that the old time toy shop?
Yes. It was called something different at that point, but
Yeah.
yes,
What was it
same
called
thing.
back then? I forgot what it was
Star
called.
Wars Collectibles.
Oh, Star Wars. Yes, that's when I first
Yeah.
ran across him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then
I
became
still
old
have the
comic book shop.
Galvatron that I got from him.
I have many things I got from him.
Yeah.
So yeah, so anyways, go for it. I just
Oh,
want
so he promised to have more information in the comics at Easter.
Mhm.
And so I scanned ahead like multiple comics to see, and there's nothing else, at least in these comics, about any of it. It's just like nothing before or after Easter in the comics about the Time Warriors or the robot points that Anthony Temple promised. So I'm disappointed.
Come on, Anthony. Tony.
And yeah, and that Time Warrior watch goes for an insane amount of money right now, like on the aftermarket, especially if you have it like working complete in the box.
It's like a
I
thousand
think it was
bucks.
like, huh?
Was it like how much was it?
I think I saw some that were like $500 or $600.
Yeah, I was gonna say it went up there. I mean,
Yeah, I think
'cause,
some of them were closer to like 800.
yeah, they're
Like,
gonna get it's creeping up towards 1,000. I remember that.
yeah, that's a
Insane.
lot for that little digital watch.
And it was all it was is like it kind of looked like a little Casio, digital watch that had like the Autobot symbol that would like open like this.
Yeah, there was nothing fancy, but I guess the trick, what makes it expensive, is that it was kind of cheap. So a
Yeah.
lot of them, the mechanism to open it broke, or the watch itself gave out, or in some cases the batteries exploded and like destroyed the watch from the inside.
Oh no.
So, and kids wore these, the kids that ordered these.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't think a lot of kids, I mean, if you had to choose between like the Omnibots or Reflector or the Time Warrior, Time Warrior's like last on the list.
Yeah, he like I got some more robot points. Maybe I can make it to this guy.
It wasn't even as cool as like the chronoform watches. It turned into scorpions and stuff. It was like,
Yeah, I had the Scorpion one myself. My neighbor had the little robot guy.
yeah.
Um, yeah, I know our your friend Gray. He is a big fan of the chronoform watches.
Oh, he likes all the little Transformer watches.
Well, they're kind of neat. Like I said,
Yeah.
Scorpion, I had that. It had like little the legs were like plastic and folded up underneath. It had like a metal like segmented tail. It's cool.
Yeah, that one was probably the most intricate out of them. I've never had any of them, but I'd look at them in the store because I remember in Toys R Us they had those in like a special section that
Yeah.
you had to like tell them you wanted it and they'd pull it out and send it to the register. Like you couldn't like just grab it off the shelf.
My mom actually worked back then. She worked for J.C. Penney's. She was a hairstylist at J.C. Penney's. And
Hmm.
she would go and shop on the J.C. Penney catalog, and that was just probably one of the things that was in there.
That's
So
cool.
yeah, it was just like a random thing, like, oh, okay, cool. And it had the little plastic band that you could snap it into. I had to think of it for a long time. I think past a lot of my Transformers actually I had that. But anyways,
Nice.
yeah, pretty cool stuff.
Good deal. So yeah,
Yeah,
this was a good start, I think, at least on the Transformer side.
yeah. I mean, Iron Giant was a cool story. Don't get me wrong; it was actually pretty dark. But this is Simon Furman's first outing of Transformers, and it's good. I mean, the dialogue with a lot of the characters is great, and of
I
course,
mean, we've already got like teasing, what we'll get from Furman later, how he likes to just kill and trash characters.
yeah, he's
Yeah,
he's not kind.
we almost had a crushed head, and we've got Ravage buried alive out in the desert. So
As he deserves. He just had joined up with Starscream.
right,
Yeah, so it's kind of nice actually. The looking at this, how Megatron kind of ruled the Decepticons through like tyranny and power, not
oh
by
yeah,
smart.
he was following his motto.
Peace through tyranny. Yes.
Yeah,
Well, honestly, that makes a lot of sense. So, we you and I have talked about a lot how later on that during the Furman run that he brings in Galvatron meeting Megatron, and Megatron's the crazy one. Well,
yeah, that's so odd when you think about it, but yeah,
yeah, and we're used to with the Sunbow cartoon, Galvatron being the crazy one, and the idea of how Megatron's very calculating. Yeah, it doesn't work out that way in the UK comics, so I'm really interested in seeing more of these.
yeah, I don't want to spoil too much because we've got that ahead of us. But yeah, that's a different dynamic there.
Really excited for that.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, I'm gonna cut it here, and we will get on to issue number 2 very soon.
Yes. And I have a
Ed,
quote.
oh yes, please, by all means.
Oh yeah. They were worth the time we spent building them in these caverns.
The Constructicons built on Earth in the caverns. Very nice.
Yes, that's Megatron from Heavy Metal War.
When he built the Constructicons in the caverns on Earth. They weren't one of the many origins for the Constructicons, but we can go
Right.
into
There's
that
like
later.
at least like three.
Three I know of. Even
Yeah.
though the Bible says there's no origin specified, writers gave them an origin. But what do I know?
Right.
I mean, the cartoon is so concise with its history and this canon. I mean, it can't be anything weird with that. Uh, Anyways, thanks everyone for being here, and we'll get back at it. And Ed, I hope your dog feels better, and y'all take it easy. Thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye. See ya. More of the Mises Guys is performed by Evan Johns and Ed Strickland. Research is performed by Evan Johns, Ed Strickland, and with special research done by Boo of the AxelonUnderground.net. All used images in the videos are property of Sunbow, Hasbro, Paramount, or Marvel. And as always, thank you so much for tuning in every week with us. We appreciate it.